Yo everyone, it's Taichi, and this is going to be a new thing that I'm doing. It's going to be a series called Taichi's Top 5, and it's going to be about like 5 things I like from a certain category, such as anime, movies, manga, music, and stuff like that. And I may do this weekly, not too sure, it depends on how successful it is. But today I'm going to be doing the top 5 anime from ADV Films that I enjoyed. So let's start. Okay, number 5 will be Gravion. And I first got introduced to this series at a con because Greg Ayers pretty much convinced me to watch it. And it's a pretty good mech series. It's fun. It's has a pretty generic story, but it works very well. You have fun characters that are really likable, and overall the mech fights and the mech Gravion in general is pretty cool looking. And this was just a really fun series. It's short, doesn't really take much thinking, but that's mainly why I like it. And great character designs. That's one of the reasons why I enjoyed it. Number 4 is going to be King of Bandaging, and this was a series I got into while it was through a New Type magazine, like DVD, and checked out the first episode. Greatly enjoyed it. I love the two main characters, Jing and Kier. I felt there's great chemistry between like those characters, and pretty simple story. Jing is a bandit, still stuff, and like they have a great world they live in. It's really diverse, like mainly not just humans. It's different types of creatures and mutants and stuff like that. And they live in a pretty surreal world, and it's really fun. And like Jing's adventures are great. He's a pretty pretty cool character, and overall it's a great series. I loved watching it. I bought the whole series and also reading the manga. Number 3 is going to be Generator Gall, and this is a sleeper series that really no one watched, and I have to say it was my first sleeper series. And I got this when I was about 12 or 13, around 2002, 2003, and I watched it. And it was made back in the mid-90s. It was a pretty deep story. It's about time travelers along with like mutants, you could say. And it worked so well. It's like 12 episodes long, great amount of suspense. All the main characters and some of the side characters are great. You will like them all. And really, like, the story progresses so well that you're really engaged within it, and it's just a great series to watch. And I'm surprised a lot of people have not watched this, or it's not really popular. But this was one of my first sleeper series. My next one is my number 2, and this is a pretty well-known series. Okay, not really pretty, but widely well-known series, and it's Neon Genesis Evangelion. And I watched this pretty early in life, like 12, 13 also, about the same time as Generator Gall, and I loved it, even though I didn't really understand most of it until like a lot later. But I was really fascinated into the series. It was fun, great characters, really complex characters, and a really complex story that takes like several like times to like rewatch to actually fully like understand it. And the mech designs are very original, like unlike any other series. So like Studio Gainax did a great job. I have to say, just like ADV brought out the full box set for like 8 DVDs. It was like over $100. When DVDs were expensive at that time, but the box set was definitely worth it. Then they came out with the Platinum Edition a few years later, so had to pick that up. And like overall, they're great to collect. They're really fun. I love Evangelion. Been following it ever since then. Now my number 1, and this is the series I watched back in 2006, and when it got licensed and like was released on DVD, I got so stoked, and I've been rewatching it like crazy. And it's Air Gear. A lot of people hate on this show because of how I was kind of different from the manga, but I loved it. It was like you had some really, really like fun stories within it. Its rewatch value is extremely high, and you can watch it with people who are not really fans of anime, and you could just get a lot of enjoyment out of the series. Like I love how they took a simple story about skating and just really play with it and throw so many different elements in there and like keep it still and keep it still as a basic shonen series. But Air Gear did it. Great music. The music was incredible in this series. Like animation was, the animation was good. It wasn't the greatest, but it's enough for me. It also got me into the band back on and stuff like that. And overall, it's a great series. I mean, you can watch it, apart from the manga and still, find some enjoyment in it. It's best not to compare the two, but I really did enjoy it. But that's my top five for ADV films, and hopefully anyone like any of these series like people will check out. If you haven't seen them, you really need to watch these. They are great. The DVDs should not cost that much. Like most of it's been like re-released. I know Jing, Evangelion, well not Evangelion, but Jing and Air Gear have been re-released just recently. The other series, Evangelion and Gall and Gravion, still haven't been like re-released at all. Hopefully Funimation does something with that. Either Funimation or Sentai Filmworks will do something. But if you watched any of these series, please tell me what did you think about them. Did you enjoy them? Did you hate them? Uh, just let me know. But rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys like in another video in my next Taichi's Top 5. Peace, people.